feeling a week from opening? How has the experience been? And what do you think?
Yeah, it's actually less than a week.
Less than 2 weeks.
Less than 2 weeks.
Less than 2 weeks.
Less than 2 weeks. Oh
Less than
my
2
God.
No pressure.
Excited.
Okay, in one word, how's everybody feeling today?
Oh, excited.
Excited.
Excited. Happy. Pressure.
Combine ko kaya, happy and pressure.
Alive.
Anxious, excited.
Yeah. So how was the rehearsal process been?
Anxiousness, anger, exhaustion.
Irritability, nausea, vomiting. All the feelings.
I mean, people know that the material is rich in themes on mental health, grief. What do you think audiences can expect from the show? Knowing that, maybe to talk, knowing that this is the second time, third technically with Blura. What can they look forward to in terms of your vision and your direction?
Wala, parang like I said last week, parang it's like timeless and timely. Parang you can stage this even 10 years from now and people will still very much relate to it. Sabi nga ni Vino last week, like, it's a Broadway musical, but it's very Pinoy. It's like family, tapos it's very emotional, and Pinoys love that. But also, yeah, like mental health. I mean, there's never enough forums and platforms to be able to talk about it, to shed light on it, to demystify a lot of like misconceptions about it. And of course, grief. I think that's the one that really connects to all of us also. Like, I learned from Sav, who's like a grief counselor also for Arlington, her family business, that, I mean, it's not just the loss of a loved one, but it's also like, you can also have grief from like losing your job, losing your jowa, losing like yourself, your identity. So, parang there's so much about the show that people can really connect with.
Thank you, Paul. So at this point, I want to open the floor for any questions from our friends from the press. Any brief statements? Thank you, Inga.
So I saw the local production. You can see so Manchu, Menzilla, Chris.
Yes.
And I bawled my eyes out each time, right? And I was listening to the songs just recently. I told you this. Naiiyak pa rin ako. So what do you think is the power of the material that hits the nerve of its audiences? Maybe Tom and Nikki and whoever else.
Sino ba una?
No, ikaw na.
Ako muna. So when I saw this in Broadway in 2009 with Alice Ripley and 2010 with the one who replaced her.
Jessica.
Huh?
Jessica.
Hindi. 2010, the one who replaced her, married Mazzy, like Mishi. Rest in peace, diba? And then I saw it again last year with Casey Levy. There's something about the music of Tom Kitt and Brian Yorkie na parang tumatago sa kaluluwa eh. Parang it swells at the right time, it softens like strategically, so talagang it really takes you on an emotional roller coaster. At saka ang sarap niyang ipirit, ang sarap rin niyang ihimbing. Parang it's such a nuanced score. Kaya dream to ni EJ eh. Parang he has 3 dream prods. Little Shop we did last year, that was his other dream prod. This is his other dream prod. I forgot the third. It's that. This is also one of his dreams. So, tsaka may band. May band si EJ. Excited siya.
Anyone else from the cast, maybe, who would like to answer?
For
Second
me,
time mo na to.
yeah.
Yes.
For me, I think what really hits people about Next to Normal is not just the music, but also the lyrics. The characters, kasi they have so many walls up, but they're not afraid to be raw with their emotions. They're not afraid to articulate how they're really feeling. And I feel like yun yung tumatagos talaga sa puso ng mga tao, which is why even now when we run, we all bawl our eyes out every time. It really cuts deep. The emotion, it really gets to you, and I think Next to Normal was able to capture something really profound that hits the soul talaga.
Go Nikki! Your comeback! Not since Wedding Singer!
Well, all the music naman hits. It's cut deep talaga. But me as a mom of a 16-year-old, I really can, connect to the song maybe with my daughter in the musical. The song is kind of like, on a regular day, like how when I speak to my daughter, and when we make amends after maybe mga tampuhan namin, yun. So out of all the songs, it really hits me when I get to that part. Medyo personal siya sa akin.
Yeah. The song, the music, the lyrics are just so alive. Like, I mean, you can really feel like air. Walang pinalagpas na notes na mga strings or instrument na talagang kailangan nakalapat dito. And it doesn't really feel like, at first it won't feel like it's about mental health. You feel like it's about, a party song or something like very pop, very jazzy kind of thing. Pero when you hear the music and the lyrics of it, parang you know that this song is about grief, about this and that, and that's what makes it beautiful. Like it doesn't necessarily have to be so dramatic or so stringy, stringy. I mean, yung parang sobrang mapapaiyak ka, pero there's something about the music na kahit magulo, nakakaiyak siya. Kahit magulo yung naririnig mo, maiiyak ka. So I think it's really beautiful.
There are a lot of beautiful, tender moments. I like the word that Toph uses when he says scoring. That it's scored and not like it's not a soundtrack. It's like a score. In that it's not just like a bunch of songs chunked together. It goes from song to song to song. Like all the moments in between are so focused on like the story between the people, and the composer Tankit has really taken such beautiful care with each and every moment between each person. And so, 1.5 weeks to go, no?
Yay! Six bro!
Maybe we can go down the line.
Yeah, like what Jeff said, the music really moves with the book. So even in the moments where there are heightened emotions or when there are lulls, like very still moments, the music really it complements it. And that's why I feel like just listening to the songs and listening to the score is just really moving in itself. And going back to what Toph said about grief and mental health, I mean, maybe not everyone has like an affliction or they're diagnosed with something, but everyone can relate to the grief of the show. And I think it's a lot of these things that remain unspoken in daily life that listening to the show will kind of bring it out. And then it's very cathartic too. So maybe that's why tears always come out. I don't know. Yeah.
Well, to sum it all up. No, I think the lyrics coupled with the music, it's really powerful, maybe because it's based on true accounts. So even if hindi namin karagahan yung eksena, and you just be in the moment, mararamdaman mo talaga siya. It's so powerful talaga. And it's like an opera because it's sung through. So para siyang opera talaga. And since mental health and grief, wala siyang mukha. No? So that's why it makes this piece a timeless piece. So ganun siya.
I guess that's what makes it timeless as well, is that the original creators of the original Broadway production, right, Yorkie Tompkins, the directors, designers, were able to hit at the basic human emotion, which is loss, which is almost primal. It's like a primal force. That way, it still resonates. Hopefully, this team, what Toph, this cast, and the artistic team was able to create for this production will be able to service that to this audience, to this new generation of audience.
Thank you, everyone. Yeah. So, like what we've been calling it, this is your Feel Everything musical. So, abangan nyo, prepare your hearts.
And Kleenex!
Tissue, tsaka shiny trash bag. Ganun kadami.
You will walk out of the theater a different person.
Wow.
6 minutes. Thank you, Loretta. Any other questions? Yes?
So this is for everyone. So we all have our own ways of dealing with grief. Some takes a long time, some just moves forward quickly. But how how were you able to take in your own way of handling grief with your own portrayals and with the creations? How did you use your own grief and how you process it with your portrayal?
Yeah, I feel like it's, our own grief is very personal, and I feel like it shouldn't be used all the time. And I feel like it's just a matter of, it's just a reference of what we're going to do. But when we are on stage, I really feel like it's really dangerous for you to bring your own grief on stage, especially when you are doing 2 shows in a day. So I feel like it's not gonna help the actor nor any creatives. It's gonna be difficult for them to handle us, and that is something that we do pre-prod. Like we graph our own personal things first, our grief, and then let it out, and then maybe talk it out to our directors, or maybe express it. And by that time, you should be able to let it go upon entering the stage and upon entering this room, and just breathe in and breathe it all out. Something.
In my case, like I use that technique when I do movies or when I do TV. It's short term kasi. But in the case of Next to Normal, I think it's impossible to use my own grief. I have to feel what Diana Goodman is feeling or felt, or because I don't know the feeling of going through a mental health condition, which is bipolar. May bipolar siya. So and yung ganun kalalim na depression. I think it's really more on living in the moment, like being alive while doing the scene, and making my own research about putting my own history of like how Diana Goodman is or was before she had that condition. So yun yung difference niya. Being an actor on stage and for TV and movies.
Yung sabi ko last week kasi parang in terms of like inspiration for staging, like we kinda, by the way, the set that Mark created was such a beautiful playground to compose this, what you're gonna see next week, this hyper simplified, streamlined Next to Normal. But yeah, we kind of leaned into, so in terms of my own experience of grief, when I lost my sister like almost 2 decades ago, and then parang experiencing her through proxies and substitutes. My mom sort of like made the connection or synergy of my sister through butterflies, and that's why it's all over like her paintings and like even the things that she collects. Ako naman, I also make those own associations. So in terms of staging, parang kind of leaned into the semiotics of grief, what it symbolizes. So we actively lean into it, so that I guess fueled our staging of Next to Normal. Chairs the musical. Chairs the musical.
6 chairs.
6 chairs the musical.
May tatlong upuan, merong 6
Oh, it's tatlong upuan plus 3 the musical. Gamugilan.
If you want to share insight on that, bakit naman po?
This isn't it was a process. It was an exciting process to be working with a new director, which is Tom. And so it really took its time. No? This is the 3rd draft of this. We were navigating what the score, what the lyrics of Brian Marquez and Tom Kitt and the music is really talking about and talking to us about. So, and then eventually it just became this semi-permeable space that people can really like reflect their own emotions into, that I call a room. It's just, you enter a room, which is also the theater. You also enter the theater as a room. So, yun yung mga ideas that played into it.
Tsaka parang everything you'll see is really a culmination of everyone's creative juices.
Yeah.
Parang, I feel imposter syndrome nga pag director. Para lang ako, facilitator. Nag-orchestrate ng chaos. Kasi honestly, we had a radical staging in mind prior to auditioning. But then seeing all these people in audition and the magic that they brought, parang we're like, okay, scrapping that radical staging. Like, let's lean into what they've created, and they also brought that to rehearsal, and then what you'll see next week basically is a product of everyone's creativity. Malilikot yung utak ng mga to. Naka-excite to work with people na malilikot ang utak. I love it. Creative.
Collaboration is key.
Yes.